episode, and you know what? What we're gonna discuss is TikTok. You know what? TikTok is in the news, and I know y'all just want me to get to the point. TikTok is really, really, really in the news, and I think it's very interesting. TikTok, people are saying there are individuals that are saying that TikTok just should be banned. TikTok, out of all of the applications that have evolved since 2000, 2016, that TikTok has 2 billion users. So, how you doing, Dr. Lee Warren?
I'm doing fine.
You know what I have, Dr. Lee Warren. He's astute, he's intelligent, he's always doing research. And he has a show called PLIM Latent Man.
Well, I've been at this in part of my ministry for about really close to 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
And well, we were just still local cable.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago cable. It's only seen on cable. We know many people don't have cable now because it's kind of expensive. But our show is re-shown on the web
Mm-hmm.
at plim2.org. That's PLIM, the number 2.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to register for this. It's free. It's just the form some type of security in this. It keeps some of the craziness down.
Yes. Go ahead. I'm listening to you. This is interesting. I'm listening to you.
And then we've been on cable, like I said, a little over 30, more than 30 years.
Yes.
And we cover a multitude of topics: geopolitical, scripture, health, these vaccinations, you name it, we cover the whole waterfront.
Mm-hmm.
If you would understand what is taking place, because at this point in time,
yes,
the most important thing that you can receive is the truth.
Mm-hmm.
As the Messiah said, it's the truth that's going to make you free from all these propaganda and lies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Dr. Lee Warren, thank you. And you know what, I encourage people to look at the Underground Railroad television show, whether it's on the internet or Can Television in Chicago every Saturday night at 10:30 to look at Plum Power Latent Man, and have him on your show. Write an article about him because he's talking about things that are going on. He's not trying to put you to sleep. He's trying to wake you up. Him and his wife. So, and I want to get down, to TikTok. I want to ask you something, Dr. Lee Warren. You know what? In Congress, they had a subcommittee hearing about TikTok. And people that don't even know who TikTok is, okay, they were created in 2016. And I want to ask you something. They were created. How did they put short videos on from 6 seconds to 10 seconds. And I think that's the maximum. I want to ask you, how is it that they gathered all 2 billion people that have downloaded this application where you can make short video? How did they obtain even doing something like that? Something like TikTok never would have entered my mind.
Well, you have to understand the viewership of that. They usually are some teenagers to those that are, I guess, you say from a 10, 12, all the way back up to about 25 or 30 that are being entertained by TikTok. So they have a target marketing, and they understand the marketing of it, and which enables them to direct their target audience would be that audience.
Yes.
that they have. So they have a lot of games, a lot of things that would entertain young people.
Okay.
They, see, the seniors or somebody in their middle ages, that wouldn't bother them. But you got to understand that America, the West, they have a special culture
Mm-hmm.
called the teenagers culture.
Yes.
And it really was devised for that consumer because in a lot of countries,
Mm-hmm.
they don't have that to the degree that we have it here.
Yes.
There's a
Yes.
certain music that they listen to.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's a certain style of clothes that they wear. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And what TikTok has done is focus in on that particular group around the world. Then you got the the rap, which is very popular amongst you. It has spread
Mm-hmm.
universally across the world. So
Mm-hmm.
these are the things that they target,
Mm-hmm.
and they have a great influence,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the games and stuff. Now, remember when we were coming up, the games that we had was checkers, and you could say other little pit pat games that we had, but none of those games were digitized
Yes.
as they are now with the technology that we have available.
Yes.
They have a lot of cartoons. Cartoons are specifically designed for basically that age group. See,
Yes. Yes.
and you have to understand that that age group is very prone to how should I say it? Uh, uh, See, that group is a social group, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of interaction between
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, they play, they talk, their social interaction is probably more so greater than it is somebody in the Middle Ages or seniors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, Dr. Warren. I'm getting a message from Dr. Penny Warren. It said contact PLIM. And I have that information in the telephone number 773-509-8124. Y'all have a weekly television show that comes on Chicago um Can Television. And you know what? The link will be in the description. And she has a show comes on channel 36 from 8:30 to 9:30 Thursdays. Okay, but go ahead, Dr. Warren. I was just reading that, but I'm gonna post it anyway. Okay.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
so and their whole say personality is really shaped around their interactions. So a teenager having very how should I say it? If they have little or no communication, they usually are depressed. They go through a lot of psychological trauma.
Mm-hmm.
See, but what TikTok does
Yes.
is allows the interaction now. It's not person to person, but
Mm-hmm.
it's digital.
Yes.
Most of the interaction you have
Mm-hmm.
for most teenagers is in school.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Mm-hmm.
and now, well, that can be expanded and measured.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean? How can it be measured? How many hits did you got for this particular
Mm-hmm.
uh, just doing dumb stuff,
Yes. Yes.
and
Yes.
personalities and whatever that increase. So say a teenager's got 100, 200,000 hits.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he has a great popularity
Mm-hmm.
among his peers
Yes.
as a result of TikTok. So it has really kind of took over the that age group more than anybody else.
I like to ask you something, Dr. Lee Warren. Does it surprise you that they have almost they're the third most used app behind Zoom and Peacock? Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't surprise me because see, it's just like any type of other should I say, activity. It's just like in the 50s and 60s. You had very. You remember the Hulu?
Yeah, I remember.
That was some for teenagers, and you would have well, I guess you'd say toys, or I guess that's what you say for teenagers, and it would be very popular. Well, the same thing here is, is that what
Hmm.
uh just hold on just a moment.
Okay.
Okay.
And and the individuals that he's doing something, but what we're talking about TikTok, and should TikTok be banned? And I encourage you, if you want to call in with a question, or if you want to join in the cubicle, join into the broadcast. It's okay. Come on. Okay, go ahead, Dr. Lee Warren. I'm sorry. Okay.
So like you're saying, they have this means of communicating or addressing these young people more than other websites.
Mm-hmm.
See, once you understand this group, and then you can begin to manipulate and control and kind of dictate. And that's what's scary, is because they figure like America, we have our little teenagers here. Now they're watching TikTok, and the Chinese now are indoctrinating them with settled ideas of their cultural, political ideas, and etc.
Mm-hmm.
And they feel very offended toward this.
Wow. And my question is, there have been countries, and we're going to talk about the subcommittee hearing. We're going to go get to that, but we're building up to that because they had hearings on television 2023. And this broadcast that you are listening to, you will be able, people in the future will be able to look at this in the past and look at what we were talking about in year 2023. I'd like to ask you, Dr. Lee Warren, India in year 2020, they banned a highly regulated TikTok because they said this, they felt that it endangered the sovereignty and the security of their nation. I believe that England did too. What do you think they have went too far? I mean, is it about censorship? Can you elaborate on that?
It is about censorship, but in reality, like I said, uh, they're afraid that the Chinese, with their particular program
Mm-hmm.
and indoctrination,
Mm-hmm.
will pull these people away or undermine them from uh, their normal culture.
Yes.
So they feel, well, is they preaching Marxism or socialism, or are they preaching other things
Mm-hmm.
that are quite contrary to what they believe in? See, America, in their social culture, they believe, see,
Yes.
that there's more than two genders, two
Yes.
gender,
Mm-hmm.
male and female. And
Yes.
so they're searching for, you can't call me Miss or Mister. Let's call me thee.
Yeah, can I say something? We don't even want to talk about them on YouTube because you know what? Can I tell the listening audience? I don't talk about gender too much because you know what? YouTube has algorithms, and you know what? I'll be knocked off YouTube. But go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead,
okay.
Dr. Warren.
But these are the things that they are afraid of,
Uh-huh.
that they preach,
Mm-hmm.
that these other cultures will undermine their basic principles of
Mm-hmm.
their culture. You just look at the various things that are not willingly accepted.
When we talk about TikTok, okay, for people that don't know, who is TikTok owned by? Who are they owned by? And because they're in China, are they controlled by China? Well, China can extract that information and that mega data anytime they want to.
That's what they're afraid of.
Okay.
See, China, I told you, they have developed a program around these children that's very
Mm-hmm.
subtle, and they have got a lot of information uh,
Mm-hmm.
from uh, from them that's
Mm-hmm.
part of that database.
Mm-hmm.
And they even though they themselves see have a database on these children,
Mm-hmm.
see, they don't want the Chinese to have it because
Yes.
it basically will undermine, see, their basic political doctrine and
Mm-hmm.
culture.
Mm-hmm. You know, if that is true, I would like, you know what, I would like to pose the question to you, and I think you already answered it already. If it is immoral, if it is wrong about other people's culture, you know, when people in America subscribe and give information, they voluntarily give up information. It's not that mega data being used and mined and sold to corporations so they can know what you like and don't you know. Like, are they not doing the same thing?
Right, they're doing the same thing, but they don't want the Chinese to do it.
Okay. You see, they are doing this. So if they're doing the same thing, what is it not an oxymoron not to tell somebody else to do it?
Yeah, but you have to understand the agenda that
Mm-hmm.
the West has
Mm-hmm.
have
Yes.
for this control of information
Mm-hmm.
and their program, and they definitely understand that TikTok will
Mm-hmm.
can obtain the same, if not more, information
Mm-hmm.
to undermine their minds of their children.
Mm-hmm. You know, I would like to ask you back when former President Donald Trump in year 2020, he had considered getting rid of TikTok, or banning TikTok because he felt that they were collecting information, but he changed his mind. I would like to ask you, why did he change his mind about banning TikTok
Well, it has a lot
from
of
the United States of America?
what has a lot of political implications. Is that one is that if they did that, the Chinese could see well down the road they would have other things that they don't like
Mm-hmm.
and infringe upon them or put sanctions on them.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're afraid of. This is just the beginning of sanctions. If they did this to TikTok, which is a small game for children, well, what do they do about other things that they don't like about us?
Mm-hmm. When we speak of TikTok, the U.S. government has banned. They have banned the use of TikTok in government offices, in government servers. They have banned it. Do you think it was justified? And why did they feel that it had to be banned?
Well, it's a threat.
Okay.
Mainly, it's a threat to their programming. See, remember the whole situation about what's in this world is that governments are trying to get control of the people's mind.
Yes, sir.
That's why you have TV 24/7,
Yes.
and that and that's a means of indoctrinating our political ideas, culture, and everything to the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can't have somebody else to come in and overtalk. See, listen, the whole thing is to control the mind.
Yes.
So then, if you have somebody to come in and undermine that, that can cause a big problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could tell your people, well, do this. People say, well, we ain't doing that because the Chinese
Yes.
said this. So that that that's what that means by or what they're doing is really a fight over the control of not money, but people's mind. So if you control a person's mind, you control everything.
Yes, sir.
Money, his wife, everything.
Hmm. And you know what is we talk about TikTok, the social media platform that is owned by China. You know, Mr. Chu, who is the chairman or the president of TikTok, he said you have nothing to worry about because the metadata, information that is being collected, is going to San Diego and Singapore. But I think it's an oxymoron because China still would have rights over it anyway. So if you can, that is what he said before the subcommittee. What is your response to that? He said you have nothing to worry about. Um,
Well, the whole thing you have to keep in mind what the principle involved.
mhm.
It actually is the control of the populace mind. Now, if I ask you at a part of the government, what is the large segment of the population that uh, 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 that a nation like America seeks to control
Hmm.
and direct?
Yes,
Well, what would you tell me? What would be that population?
the youth.
That's what I'm saying. It's the youth.
They're
See,
the future.
the future. That's exactly
Hmm.
right.
Hmm.
See, when Hitler was in power there,
Hmm.
and the adults there said, "Listen, we hate Nazis. We don't want Nazis." Da 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 da. To
Hmm.
Hitler, Hitler
Hmm.
said this to them. See,
Hmm.
he says, he says, "We're not worried about you.
Yes,
See, see, we want your children because we
yes,
know you're not going to accept it. You're going to die all sooner.
yes.
So when you're going to die all sooner, well,
Hmm.
what do we have left
Yes,
that we can work with it?" He says, "Well, we start with the children to indoctrinate them, and they will be most willing to accept it than the adults that was around before Nazism came here. And
yes,
they understand the situation." So he said, in other words, he said, "I'm after the minds of your youth."
yes, yes.
Everything centers around that. The advertising that they give to you every day, buy jeans, buy this. That's a control of the what? Minds.
Yes, sir.
So everything is directed to control the minds, and anything that threatens that, that's that's an enemy to the state.
Yes, Will Smith. Okay. You know, this is going off TikTok for just for 1 second, and I would like to get your assessment that President Xi had made a statement to President Vladimir Putin that we are going to shape a new world order. And this was on Fox News that does not include the United States of America. What was your assessment of that? And what is your assessment of the relationship, the close, cozy relationship that China has with Russia right
Well, they know already from looking at history.
now? Mm-hmm.
No nation maintained power or hegemony, a world dominance forever.
Yes.
You go back to Rome, you go back to Persia, you
Mm-hmm.
go back to Babylon, you go back to
Yes.
the great Roman empires, coming down to the ages. All these empires had their rise, their zenith, and their
Mm-hmm.
fall.
Mm-hmm.
So that and they can see the same thing happening. America is no exception.
Yes.
It's becoming very weak. The economy is shot. They're overly indebted,
Mm-hmm.
debt, and these are all symptoms of a dying nation.
Yes.
So the United States is trying to maintain their hegemony, and Russia and them said that no, that ain't happening. We don't want no more dollars. See, and we challenge your world dominance as if you're the only one that can dictate policy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know when you say that, but I'm going to come back to TikTok because I got two other questions for you. When you make a statement like that, they do not want our dollars, but you are right. They're fiat dollars.
That's what
I learned that. I learned that on the PLIM Power Latent show. So what is fiat? Fiat is they have produced so many of these dollars that it is depreciated. It has went down in value. And
that's
I
correct.
yes, and I like to ask you two other questions. I have other questions, but I'm gonna get back to TikTok after this. I want to ask you something that there was a pipeline that was blown up that connected Germany and Russia. And I would like to know why was that not really discussed in the news media? And can you elaborate on the north? I think it's the northeastern or whatever it is pipeline.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, Germany and Russia
Mm-hmm.
had a relationship because Russia furnished uh, R- Russia furnished Germany with real cheap oil,
Okay.
very cheap oil.
Mm-hmm.
That if you have cheap oil, then you can make cheap products that could undermine your rivalry
Mm-hmm.
products because you
Yes.
make them cheaper.
Yes.
See, and the United States knew if Russia and Germany got together,
Mm-hmm.
oil, that they would undermine the world,
Yes.
especially the relationship between Germany and the United States.
Yes. Yes.
So what they did, they said, see, you have to go back and understand the principle of hegemony, what it meant. So deviate for a few minutes.
Now I
See,
got to tell you something. Agility. I don't know exactly what that means. Can you tell me what that is? Movement? I assume. But go ahead.
see, when most of the African nations
Yeah.
were raised up under capitalism,
Mm-hmm.
and the Western nations, that's the Caucasian nations,
Mm-hmm.
they just went in there and took,
Mm-hmm.
caused division amongst the folks.
Colonized. Okay.
See, so they couldn't make much progress because the United States didn't want their colonies to
Mm-hmm.
rise up and form a manufacturing process and technology that would rival them.
Okay.
See, and that's why they didn't want anybody. They wanted to be uno. So we're not gonna give you all this stuff because then you rival our thing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
so what they did is constantly cause friction, sabotage, and everything within those countries. Okay, then along came China and Russia.
Mm-hmm.
See, and China went in and said, "What's okay? You want to build a railroad? Yeah. You want to build an electrical plant? Well, we'll build you, and then you sell. You give us some of your resources."
Mm-hmm.
Now, that was a threat
Yes.
to the United States
Yeah.
hegemony
Yes.
because what they wanted was to them to make all the products and everything and sell it to them,
Yes.
and then they would pay them back in the resources.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what they were afraid of.
Yes.
But that's the problem you have throughout the world, that the United States was constantly undermining these nations to
Mm-hmm.
prevent them from being a rival or block
Yes.
that would come up and undermine them. That's what you have here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And when we blew up the pipe, the United States,
That's right.
we blew up.
Now you understand that. Then we blew up the pipeline to prevent Germany from buying gas from
Mhm.
Russia.
Okay.
And then when they blew it up, well, they already knew the name of the game was, well, where would Germany get their oil from or gas from? Oh, so
Yes.
they got to buy it from us, and we charge them four times what they were buying from Germany.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you can see then how the situation was set up, and Germany, even to this day, is saying, "Well, we know who blew up the pipeline because we know who had the most to gain. Follow the money."
Wow, man. Wow. And you know what? This was not widely discussed and
No, that's not being
emphasized.
discussed in media. ABC, NBC, you ain't gonna discuss that. If you do, you don't lost your job.
I understand. You know what? I understand. You know what? And you tell us when your show comes on, and then I got other questions about TikTok.
But again, our show comes on cable, Chicago cable. You have to have cable to receive this every Thursday from 8:30 to 9:30 on Channel 36.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that's every Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
And every Thursday show from 10:30 to 11:30 on Channel 36.
Okay.
A lot of those shows may be reshown.
Mm-hmm.
They may be reshown
Mm-hmm.
on on the internet on our cable show, the PLIM show, which is
Mm-hmm.
all you have to do is have an internet connection
Mm-hmm.
and know how to manipulate the web and go to PLIM, the number 2.org.
Mm-hmm.
So that's wait a minute, no, it's PLIM, the number 2 dot see
Mm-hmm.
org on the
Yes. Hmm. You know what his information, the information is that, and you know what? I want to go back to TikTok, Dr. Lee Warren, and thing is, young people. Okay, they say the average person on TikTok is from 8 to 25 years old. Okay, and they want to control that, saying that they're on TikTok too much. Shouldn't the parents have some type of responsibility to know what their child is doing?
That's true, but listen, the American parents are working so much
Okay,
to put food on the table, pay the rent. They don't have time to watch those children.
okay,
And even if TikTok wasn't there, uh, they wouldn't have time to watch the children watch their kids. And see, they use porno. See,
yeah,
to seduce their kids, drag queens, and all that stuff.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
and that's left on the TV,
yes,
and they say nothing about that. But when the
yeah,
Chinese come here with TikTok, they
yes.
say, "Wait a minute, it's just too
Mhm,
much."
mhm. But you know, as you know what now, you know now the TikTok president, Mr. Chu, says that they have hired people in social media that are social media influencers to tell young people to take a time out from TikTok. Do you think that's a game? Were they sincere by hiring people to tell youth to take a time out from? I'm talking about influencers on TikTok to tell them to take a time out. Just cannot consume your life. So, do you think that was a strategy, or did they were sincere in the way TikTok presented these influencers to them to do this on a regular basis?
Well, you have to understand the agenda behind both of them.
Okay.
And the Chinese is trying to appease not only the American legislators, but also their audience.
Yes.
And see, in that, there's something that's a ruffle of feathers here.
Yes. Yes.
And so it comes back to they don't want the Chinese to have the power, to have the influence on that particular group of people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You said
You
okay.
told me it's the same thing that the regular media does here,
Hmm.
and more so. Uh, the programs are terrible for children here versus in China, because China has certain types of uh,
Hmm.
uh, uh, rules and regulations concerning conducting that type of that.
Hmm.
Now, it may be done on a subtlety, but that's how it's set up.
Hmm. You know, when we talk about, I'm gonna ask you about AI technology, and you know what, but there's a reason, and I'm asking you right now: is there a race on between China and the United States and Russia? I'm not gonna say Russia because I don't think that Russia's the biggest threat to the United States. Is there a race right now between China and the United States to develop the best Chat GPT that they can?
They're trying to develop the best technology for the interaction between robots and humans.
Okay, so there's a race right now.
Yeah, because it has many implications.
Hmm.
Hold on just a moment.
Okay. So you know what we're doing is we're talking about TikTok, and you know what? There are 2 billion people that have downloaded TikTok, and I have Dr. Lee Warren of PLIM Power Latent Man on, and he's taking a refresher. So when he's ready, so Chat GPT, which Bill Gates invested heavily in. Okay, and I think they probably might end up challenging Google's, what Google says a Chat GPT too. But you say it's a race between China and the United States of America to develop the best Chat GPT. And once they develop it, what would be the outcome of
Well,
this
now
once they perfect it?
they'd have the better, excuse me, the better interaction between humans and robots. In other words, you would talk to a robot just like you do a human.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you have your soldiers, your big ideas. They won't tell nobody, but they can make soldiers,
Mm-hmm.
AI soldiers,
Yes.
uh,
Yes.
with the same relationship as humans have with humans.
Yes.
That's the pinnacle idea that they can make these robots having that same type of uh, 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 I guess
Humanoids.
humanoid, human,
Androids. Yes.
right?
Yes.
Now they won't get it perfect, but it'll
Mm-hmm.
be enough for them to perform a whole bunch of regiments of soldiers, etc., and perform on certain duties. In other words, they can become a chief form of labor.
Mm-hmm. Is it not a danger to that? Would you develop Chat GPT to where people will lose their creativity and their cognitive skills? Is that not a danger?
That to a certain extent that's true. But what happens? They would move the humans up another level and
Mm-hmm.
and allow the robots to perform various routine operations
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that that
Is
new
is
that
Go ahead. I'm
humans
sorry.
wouldn't worry about, just like with certain types of activities that robots can do and activities what humans wouldn't bother with that because they go another level up and deal with mainly the creativity and other things.
Hmm. But you know what, Dr. Lee Warren, I think I asked you this before. With artificial intelligence, is it not a possibility that the android, a humanoid, is learning from you and is perfecting, getting better, it will come to a conclusion. Why am I serving something that is inferior to me? If it is programmed, is that not a possibility?
That's a possibility, but you have to consider one thing that the robot doesn't have,
Yes,
and that's a soul or a spirit.
yes, yes.
That's an immaterial substance
Okay,
that gives life to this human body and creativity.
okay.
Now, and well, who was the Oh, well, who is the creator going to talk to? You got a robot, a bunch of batteries and wires versus a human body with a spirit inside of it that he can talk to the spirit.
Mm. I've just seen certain movie. I've seen certain movies, and you know what? People invent things, and you know what, like Frankenstein. I should hate to use the word Frankenstein, but it got to a point. Frankenstein is a monster for people that don't know, and he had control over it, and it didn't want to take it anymore. But that's something that they made a long time ago. I would like to ask you when you talk about Chat GPT. Okay. And all of these algorithms, it says that um TikTok, what they're doing is in terms of censoring, they have an algorithm, an owl that is taking people off the platform and for violations and these violations, and there's no human beings that are monitoring these little one, I mean, 6 to 10 second videos. I don't know if that's true though, but they say Owl is helping out. What do you think about that?
Yeah, AI probably can be taught to discern those types of videos that they don't want to be up, able to help censor it.
Mm-hmm.
Much more effective than humans.
Mm-hmm.
Because that they wouldn't have any emotional attached to it. They said, "This is what's done. It's done. Boom, cutting you off."
Oh, okay. And you know, Dr. Lee Warren, you know what? There are people that feel that TikTok is not really good because they say the more that the child looks at TikTok for every 90 minutes, so their attention span is being minimized. Would you agree with that? Because they're looking at something over.
That's right. That attention span is being minimized, but it's also with American TV do the same thing. So it's not unique so much to
Mm-hmm.
Chinese. You got the same thing that holds for uh, Americans.
Yes, yes. And you know, man, you know, Dr. Lee Wong, is it not a danger in TikTok when they have these challenges? They have challenges on TikTok. What says with a penny, put a penny in something and you may get like that, or to vandalize something for a contest. And these challenges where they pour cold water over you, is that not a danger? Is
Well,
that
yeah,
not a danger?
that's also that's a danger.
Mm-hmm.
And similarly with Americans TV. I mean, with American programming.
Oh, talking about the Three Stooges. I got to tell you something. Me and my brother used to hit each other over the head because we watched the Three Stooges. That's three people. You're right. And you know, like Dr. Lee Warren, I would like your assessment of the subcommittee hearing that recently happened in year 2023 with Congress regarding TikTok. And what do you think was the outcome? Can you give us your synopsis of what you thought and what do you think will be the end result?
Well, the end result, I think it'll be some form of censorship placed on TikTok and some to some degree. Now, how much I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
but they are going to restrict it, if not outright ban it. But they realize that has other implications uh, 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 to Chinese goods and things
Mm-hmm.
that they need.
Mm-hmm.
They say, well, we're gonna we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
stop a certain thing that Chinese do, and the Chinese can say, well, we make 80% of your pharmaceutical drugs, well,
Yes.
for just say for penicillin or whatever, well,
Yes.
or heart medicine. Well, we ain't making that for you.
Mm. What was your assessment of what the president of Mr. Chu, the president of TikTok, his responses? What was your assessment
Well, I think he
of?
did a very good uh, uh, uh,
Mm-hmm.
on trying to address some of the things. But like I say, a lot of things that they were addressing about TikTok, similarly, what America's audience does.
Yeah. The end result, do you think that TikTok will be sold? Because President Joe Biden is saying that it should be sold or solely controlled by the USA. What what is your assessment, and what do you think is going to happen in
Well,
regards to that?
then you get into a lot of political aspects, a lot of things that you don't like.
Yes.
For instance, the Chinese
Mm-hmm.
has bought one of the largest. They control about 80% of the pork in this country because they bought up all of the pork factories.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, most of the pork that's in it's already controlled. Those are they're American. I can't think of them right now. The American, you can look it up on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Is about 90% is controlled by the Chinese. They are
Mm-hmm.
foreign firms that China bought 60 and 70% of the majority of stockholders in there. So uh, 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 that's an
Mm-hmm.
example of them, and then they can ship back uh, 70, 80% of the pork back to China because they're a
Yes.
great eater of pork.
Mm-hmm.
And the United States can't do nothing with it because the factory is owned by China.
Yes.
And it caused severe shortages here.
Yes.
But
Yes.
but there's problems with the legislation. So that's what I'm saying. Tit for tat.
Yes.
It don't work out too good for America because most of the our manufacturing process has been shipped to China.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yes.
the movies has that. So, well, what are you going to do to tell those folks you either do this? Well, you could put sanctions on them, but they all
Mm-hmm.
in return sanctions back on you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm winding down, and you know what? I want to ask you this question again. I know you already covered it, but I want to ask you: do you think that the president of China, when he made the statement on Fox, to Vladimir Putin, that this is a new world order, and you know what, between us and other nations in the United States, will not be included? Do you think he was just
Oh,
talking or just popping off, or he was
no,
just
he wasn't
bluffing?
bluffing.
Because I looked at Pelosi. Pelosi went to Taiwan. He really didn't do anything about it. But can you what's your assessment of that? The statement that he
Listen,
made.
you can see now one. We all those that have eyes to see and ears to hear that Biden is a weak president, a weak leader.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You can look at him physically
Yes.
and see that he's incompetent.
Yes.
And you know damn well he ain't read all those bills that he signed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that in itself tells you that he's a very weak leader.
Yes.
And
President Xi understands that. Yes.
China understands that listen, we're gonna run rings around you
President Xi.
soon, and you're gonna find out that see China and Russia, if you they I forget how many tons of gold they have. It's like 60 or 70. Well, I see. I can't remember. It's about 100 tons of gold. So they have the
Mm-hmm.
largest amount of gold of any nations.
Mm-hmm.
Two
Mm-hmm.
nations. So the golden rule is he who has the gold rule. So they can say, well, listen, we are going to accept a currency backed by dollars.
Yes.
And as we trade goods back and forth, it has to be in some form of dollars or commodities. So
Yes.
now, that in itself shows you that you have undermined one of the most powerful currencies in the world, a dollar.
Yes.
Because people realize that they have printed so much dollars, and the value of the dollar compared to 1950,
Mhm.
it has lost most of its purchasing power. In other words,
Yes.
if you look at the purchasing power of the dollar, it's worth about 3 cents.
Yeah.
So uh, the only thing that keeps it's going is mainly,
Mhm.
see, it has a large amount of market activity that can that how should I say? I can't think of it right now.
Mhm.
Uh, it's easily accepted worldwide,
Yes.
more acceptable than what you call. That's the reason it's been accepted.
Mhm.
But as far as a currency, it's the worst currency. It's the best currency in all other currencies.
Yes.
In the laundry.
Mm. You know what I know about Taiwan, and you know what China considers it to be them to be one nation. I would like to ask you about Jong Yong Kim. I think of South Korea. Do the Chinese just have control over Korea to a certain extent?
Well, to a certain extent, because they have the power to give them
Okay.
food and other technologies that they have they couldn't get from the West.
Mhm. If the U.S. made a provocation on South Korea, do you think that China would do anything about it or just try to negotiate?
Well, China did what? I mean, the U.S. did what?
I'm saying if the United States made a frontal attack and they were upset about Jong Yong Kim continuing to shoot off these missiles, and there was an attack on South Korea, do you think that China would do anything about it?
Oh yeah, they would come into it. They came into
Wow.
it. They came into in Korea when the United States
Hmm.
was I said semi winning the war.
Hmm.
Uh, they made a truce
Oh man, why is it that Joe Biden appears to believe that the biggest enemy to the United States is Russia and not China? Why is that?
because Russia has more technology. Like, how should I say it? They're technologically more advanced
Hmm.
than China. As a matter of fact, a lot of things that they have, like the missiles technology and stuff, they got from Russia.
Yes. So you're saying is the biggest threat to the United States of America is not China, it is Russia. Okay. S- Like it's
Russia has all the technology. They have more missiles
hmm.
than anyone else in the world. I think it's some close to 6,000 missiles.
Okay.
China only has about 400 or 500.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, and Dr. Lee Warren, I'm gonna, and you know what allows we don't to get you back on to talk about China next week. And you know what, please, if that any finishing, there may have been something that you wanted to say that I didn't give you the opportunity to say. If you wanted to convey some type of message, please do so.
I wanted to tell you it's the truth that's going to make you free. The United States is a weak country. They don't have the technology for war. In other words,
Yeah.
they don't have the manufacturing capacity to make a lot of ammunition and missiles.
Yes.
Russia's whole economy runs 24/7 on that.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the missiles, if you just look at the missile technology, I think America's missiles,
Mm-hmm.
uh, anti-ship, only go about, I say, the range is about 500 or 600 miles, not even a good 1,000 miles.
Mm-hmm.
The tomahawk missiles is what they have.
Yes.
Russia and China has missiles that can go 1,000 miles an hour.
Hypersonic speed.
At hypersonic speed at 5 and 6,000 times the speed of sound, and they're more advanced. So we don't have that. If we
Yes.
just went to we couldn't fight a conventional war with Russia.
Yes.
because we don't have the industrial capacity to make tanks, bomb, and ammunition.
Yes. See, we don't. Wait, I like that. You say
Because we
we.
shipped all that stuff overseas in the 60s and 70s. That all went overseas by Clinton.
I mean, but if the president gave an order, like Ford is in Chicago, they gave the order for Ford to start making tanks. Would they not start doing it?
Yeah, but that takes 2 or 3 years.
Okay. Okay.
See, China already has the capacity to make this stuff immediately.
Yes.
We would have to, rev up, close
Okay.
factories down, bring stuff in, and it'll take some time. But in the meantime, the war is going on. You've been lost half your troops there.
Wow, man. And you know what, Dr. Lee Warren, who do you think? Do you think that China will end up controlling the China Seas? And why is the China Seas so vital?
But because most of the stuff is made in Asia
Okay.
that comes to the West. Most of the stuff is made in Asia. So how do you ship it? You don't ship it by plane. You got to ship it by ship.
Mm-hmm. When you make an assessment of both leaders, President Xi and Joe Biden, who do you think is the most strategic in planning for the future?
Who?
President Xi of China and Joe Biden.
Well, no contest. You know what that is.
I know. I know. President Xi. But like I said, Joe Biden, I don't think he realized. I think President Biden thinks that he can negotiate the way he used to, the way they used to do things. And I think with Donald Trump in office, I don't think they would have done it. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, that's an indication, right? You're
So,
correct on that.
okay. So, Dr. Lee Warren, when does you know what? I want to thank you for consenting to come on Underground Railroad. The Underground Railroad does come on TV at 10:30 p.m. every Saturday night. We come on YouTube 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. But can you tell us again? I'm going to put this up when your show comes on, and I'm going to put this up as you're talking, okay?
Right.
Okay.
Well, it comes on every Wednesday from 8:30 to 9:30
Mm-hmm.
on cable channel 36. Now that's you got to have cable to get this.
Mm-hmm.
Cable's now it's quite expensive, and most people have their cable cut off.
Yes.
But you can rewatch it on the web,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to go to PLIM. That's PLIM.
Yes.
The number 2.org. That's on the web. You type that into the block up there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you know what? It is a great it is a great show, and I encourage people. You have a YouTube site. Can you tell us what a YouTube site
That
is?
is plim dot two or plim PLIM the number 2.org is the website for watching a 2-hour show on the internet. They're
Oh,
free.
okay.
And that occurs every Tuesday
Mm-hmm.
from 8:30 to 9:30 on the and then Tuesday, then and then every Thursday it's shown from was it
10:30 to 11:30.
no from let's see from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. That's on
Okay.
Thursday evening.
Mhm. And y'all can cut and y'all can you know what y'all can also call Can Television at 312-738-1400 to get more information. And the links to his to their Facebook and YouTube website will be in the description. And you know what, Dr. Lee Warren, I thank you for coming on my little platform. I appreciate it. I'm trying to grow it, but hey, I get what Allah wants me to get. And you know what, I thank you. It's
Well,
an
you are
honor. It's an honor to have you and people out there. You know what? If you have a platform, you write articles, and you have a television show, a radio show. I would encourage you to have Dr. Lee Warren come on your show, or Dr. Penny Warren come on your show and write articles, because you know what, they're trying to wake the people up. Unlike these big news stations, they trying to put you to sleep. So I would
that's
encourage,
correct.
yeah, so I would encourage you to have him on your social media platform, on your television or radio station, and write an article. Okay. But Dr. Lee Warren, it's a pleasure. It's always a pleasure talking to you. And I want to thank you for giving this information. If y'all like this, share it. If you don't like it, let me know. And you know what? But this is real. This is not Fox Television. This is not CNN. We don't have any constraints to where we're controlled by multi-million dollar corporations. This is news from a United States perspective. And people that look at this, you can look at this in the future and see what we were going through in the past. Okay. You can see that. I want to say thank you for all my teachers at Kennedy King College teaching me about video production. And I appreciate that. Thank you, Dr. Lee Warren.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, you take care.
Take
Yes,
care.
sir. All right. You're looking at the Underground Railroad, and share this broadcast. It's always an honor, because you know what, I get the opportunity to sit back and learn, because their knowledge is vast. I feel like I'm sitting in class when I'm sitting with Dr. Lee Warren and Dr. Penny Warren. I'm sitting in class, and I'm not just having the ability to extract knowledge to further my knowledge. I'm giving other people the opportunity to extract this knowledge, because this information is not going to be discussed like this on Fox Television, CNN, and MSNBC. It's going to be discussed, but do your research. And I want to thank people for looking at the Underground Railroad television show. And this will be on YouTube, and share it if you like it. And Ramadan Mubarak to people out there, and Assalamu alaikum. And thank you everybody that watched on YouTube, Facebook, and all these other social media platforms. I had an issue, but I'm getting a little quicker doing this to the enemy out there. Getting a little quicker doing this, but they'll figure out other roadblock for me. So, but you say, you plan, enemy may plan, but Allah plans, and Allah's the best planner. You know what? Have a great Ramadan. If Ramadan passed, you know what? Strive for the next one, next Ramadan. If you're looking at this and Ramadan is already passed. And if you're in Ramadan and you're looking at this during Ramadan for the Muslims, may Allah bless you, and Assalamu alaikum. Rahmatullahi barakatuh.